What is up, YouTube? I am Henley, and today I am doing a bike review video. And this is the bike I mainly ride on trails, on cross-country trails. I have another bike inside I will be making a later video on that I am going to be using for downhill and other stuff like that. But the bike I'm using now, it's more of an enduro trail style. It's a trail bike. It is a Rockrider ST530S, and I just have to say, today here in Arkansas is election day, so I felt a little bit patriotic, and I decided to throw on the vote shirt with Mr. Bill from Schoolhouse Rock, because I mean, why not? You know, I mean, it's election day. Why not remind everybody to go out there and vote? Okay. So this is the bike. This is the bike I ride. It is the Rockrider ST530S. It is a full suspension mountain bike. It is a 27.5 inch extra large frame. It has the Rockrider all conditions 27.5 inch by 2.0 tires on it. The PSI, I keep it around 33 PSI. That's my preference. The suspension on it is 120 mil in front, and I'm not quite sure, I believe it's a 60 mil in back, but both are coil hydraulic, so they have a weaker spring, and they use hydraulic fluid to keep it you know, working as a suspension. Here the brakes are Shimano MT200 3-finger hydraulic disc brakes, 160 mil rotors on them. Has a smaller fluid tank in them. As I said, the levers on them are indeed 3-finger levers. They're not 1-finger levers. They're 3. It's a little bit of a disadvantage in my opinion, but to be honest, if you set them right, you can use them as 2-finger, and they work really good. I mean, they got great stopping power on them. They do indeed need to be bled. As you can see, that one needs to be bled bad. The shifting on it, it is a Rockrider shifter. It is a 8-speed, the 9-speed. Let me get, yeah, 1x9. The rear cassette and derailleur is a micro shift Advent Rockrider derailleur, as including the chain. The cranks are Mercoda DXs, which are actually not factory cranks. I had to go, and the original cranks I had on here, the bolt here, the thread stripped in the cranks, as well as here where your pedals go. The pedals are also a pair of FPs, alloy pedals, not what originally came on the bike. It's what came on my hardtail, and I transferred and put them on here. Same as the other side. One of the few modifications I made, my saddle also has another problem. The bolt on the saddle here, the head stripped and the thread stripped in the saddle, and also the bracket bent. So I have a hard time keeping a seat on there. Right now it's holding pretty well. This is a Schwinn seat. It is not my original seat. It also came off my hardtail. And same with grips, it also came off my hardtail. These are Snafu lock-on grips. As you can see, they've had a really rough life. But I got these at Walmart for fairly cheap. Probably like 12 bucks, I think. But they work really good. The stem is a 3-bolt 90mm stem. And I would prefer a shorter stem, but for what I do on the bike, it's good enough for me. I mean, I'm not going to complain. On the rear, same Shimano. All the clips on it are all quick release skewers, so it's easy to get your saddle, and it's easy to get your tires off the bike if you're ever in trouble. Double wall rims on both, tubeless ready rims, tubeless tires on them. So you go and you can fix those if you fix them up tubeless if you want. The bars are wide, and they have a decent rise on them, which I'm very impressed with. I'm actually very happy with the bars. The bars, one time I had an incident where I had a bike wreck, and I guess I didn't tighten down the 3-bolt stem real tight on the bars, and they did slip on me in the middle of a crash right over here down the road. A little painful, but wasn't bad. Moving on to the front suspension. The front suspension has a preload setting here, a preload dial. I usually don't mess with it because it kind of came factory the way I liked it, and I'm kind of happy with that, how it came factory with the preload dial set to basically my specifications. And then over here on the right, it does indeed have a lockout to where it makes easier climbing for you, and it won't be as hard. The rear shock, it does have a weight adjuster going from 55 kilograms to 105 kilos. I am 200 pounds, so I have it set decently high. I have it set to probably around 80 kilos. That's me, because I like my suspension running a little softer than I normally would like it. The rear is a 9-speed, a 1x9. It is a 32 tooth in front, and I don't know how many teeth in back. I actually never have studied that. It is indeed a cassette. The derailleur does have a clutch on it to where you don't have bad chain slap. It comes with a chain stay protector. It's just a little, basically like a sticker on it, and it works. As you can see, it's been banged up over time. It kind of looks like a strawberry, to be honest, but it's been banged up, but I'm happy with it. The swing arm, I did have one problem. I don't know if it was just because of my weight or what, but the rear swing arm has holes in the rear swing arm. For some reason, has holes in it. So there were stress points on the bike, and because of those stress points, as you can see here, it's been welded. Ooh, I'm gonna drop my camera. As you can see here, it's been welded here, and it's been welded here, where my dad's took it to his shop and had to weld it. And I wasn't very happy with that, but I mean, that's just how life goes sometimes. Another thing on the bike is that okay. It does not have internal cable routing. I would love for it to have internal cable routing, but sadly, it did not come. You can see it's all outer clip, but it does give you an extra clip running down here, and you can run it up in your saddle to where you can indeed put a dropper seat post if you would like, which I do kind of like. I'm glad how they've done that. The hubs on it are standard hubs. They are not any kind of boost hubs, so you can't put any kind of boost suspension on it. It's kind of disappointing, but I mean, you know, it's the way they made the bike. I do have a little bottle cage here. I'm thinking about replacing it. It's just one of the cheap little wire cages. I don't really like it. The bike itself is an aluminum frame, 15.7 kilogram, which is around 35 pounds. It is a 27.5-inch cuffwork geometry, and it was designed in France, but most bikes you see are made normally in China or Thailand or something, but this bike was made in Portugal. Of all places, it was made in Portugal, so it was set aside different from most of your other bike manufacturers. It is a Decathlon Rockrider. B-Twin makes this bike, but Decathlon sells it right here on the top tube. Decathlon is like basically the European version of AcademySports.com, of Academy Sports. But, you know, I mean, I got it off a marketplace for probably around 320 bucks, and I've had good luck with it. I mean, other than the cranks messing up on me, and of course the swing arm snapping a couple times, I've really had no other complications of the bike. Well, of course the seat post too. Also, I was going to address the saddle. The original saddle that was on the bike, it also had bent. The main rails on the saddle, like, bent completely. So I had to junk the saddle. Sadly, it was a good saddle. But the new bike, they discontinued the bike, but they're selling it back again in stores, and they're wanting 550 pounds for it, which I don't know exactly how much that would be. It's $1.50. 1 pound is $1.50 in US bucks. So y'all can go home and look up what that is. I am not right off the bat know exactly what that is at the moment. What I do like about the Rockrider is that they don't try to smear their logo on all of the parts of the bike. So if you wanted to, you can take other parts from the bike and put them on another bike, and you wouldn't say, hey, that's a Rockrider part, you know. So I really like how they did that. It makes me happy how they don't just try to like push their brand out there, you know, hey, this is it. Rockrider and B-Twin are decently well-known bike companies, and they make some pretty high-dollar bikes, like couple $1,000 e-bikes and bikes similar to this. The bike they still make has different bars, stem, tires, has a different saddle and stuff on it, cranks, different cranks, stuff like that. I haven't quite looked into the major specs of the bike, but I did go back and look at it, and they're still making it. They're making one identical to this, but the only difference is that it has better brakes and air suspension. So you can go, you can find one of these bikes. Personally, I would say if you're wanting to get one of these bikes, I would say stay within like the 160 to 180 pound range, because that swing arm is very susceptible to snapping. So I would definitely say be a little on the lighter side if you're going to ride one of these bikes, because if you are on the heavy side like me, I am 200 pounds as I said, it completely snapped. It like totally snapped the rear. Totally snapped the swing arm. So I would highly recommend if you were a little bit lighter if you wanted to ride this bike. But if you're a little bit on the heavier side like me, then you can go and you can look on Marketplace and find a nice downhill bike like mine in the house that I'll show you in a different video. That is, I only paid like 380 bucks for it out in Texas. So you can go look in your area, set your range, set your price, see if you can find a bike that fits you. Go look at it. If you don't like it, then don't get it. If you like it, get it. If you have the money, go. And I hope you can find a bike. I hope you found this enjoyable, but if you didn't, I hope you found this educational, but if you didn't, I hope you at least found it as entertainment. I know not a lot of people have heard of the Rockrider brand. They do sell it in Walmart, but I'm hoping because of this video, I am getting the brand out there, and I'm hoping that more people will start buying the Rockriders, riding them, and enjoying them as much as I do. So that's the bike I ride. It's a good bike, and all in all, when you really look at it, look at the components and everything, it's a good bike. So if you would like to go get you one, go get you one. That would be all for today in this video. I hope you. I'm really getting to the hang of YouTube lately, and I'm hoping that I can get more subscribers and learn how to edit better and stuff. I know I only have one video out now, and after this will be my second video. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.